morning, everyone. My name is Paulus Mohosho from RJ Connect. I'm a field application engineer. Welcome to today's RJ Connect Tech Hub webinar for serial device servers. Now that you have joined, you will notice that you are muted, and if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please write them on the chat section. There will be an opportunity for your questions to be answered at the end of this webinar. This webinar will be recorded and available on RJ Connect Tech Hub YouTube channel. On today's webinar, we are going to take a look at what is the serial device, the NPORTs, different models of serial devices. Why do we need a serial device for your industrial application? What are the main key benefits of using serial device server? And we'll do like a live demo on a serial device using RealCOM operation mode. And also we'll check the user applications that are suitable for serial device server. Let's get started. Let's have a look at the serial device server introduction. Serial to Ethernet, it refers to any product or process used in conversion of the serial and Ethernet interfaces. In general, this is an important field for both business and industry, since millions of legacy serial devices, most without built-in Ethernet ports, are still in common use today. A serial device server allows companies to connect legacy serial devices to an Ethernet LAN or WAN, providing many more options for data acquisition, device management, and industrial control than will otherwise be available. Several asynchronous serial interfaces, including RS-232, RS-422, RS-485, CAN bus, Profibus, and other, are currently in use to connect various types of devices, such as sensors, card readers, meters, and PLCs. We concentrate on a product and applications that require access to RS-232, RS-422, and RS-485 interface devices via an Ethernet connection. Since these three serial interfaces are the most widely used in industry, the transformation between the serial and Ethernet interface takes place at the electronic signal and network protocol level, such as transformation of data from the serial RS-232 format into a format suitable for the TCP or IP network. To do this, you require like a device server technology, in which is a device server, or more specifically a serial device server. So it's a smart standalone device with a teeny embedded operating system and CPU that is nevertheless larger enough to contain its own operating system, as well as the necessary software protocol, such as a TCP or IP stack. A serial device server also comes equipped with the required hardware interface, such as a RS-232, RS-422, or RS-485 ports. So this device server can transfer and even process data between the serial and Ethernet interface to carry out the predefined task, due to the fact that many legacy serial devices do not have a built-in capability to connect to an Ethernet. Serial device servers are playing a pivotal role in the adoption of the Ethernet technology. Let's have a look at the serial device server product overview. Our NPORT, or starting with the general device server, which is our NPORT device server that make your serial device network ready in an instant. Their compact size make them ideal for connecting devices such as a card reader and a payment terminal to an IP-based Ethernet LAN. So starting with the NPORT 5100A series, it has a one-port RS-232, 422, or 485 serial device server with such protection. And also, as you can see towards my right-hand side, we have a NPORT 5200 series A. This one it is a two-port RS-232, 422, or 485 serial interface. And then also towards my right-hand side, we have an NPORT 5400 series. This one has a 4-port RS-232, 422, and 485 serial device server with an independent operation mode for each serial port. And then, below it, we have an NPORT 5600 series. This 5600 series, it is basically has 8 or 16 port RS-232, 422, or 485 standard 19-inch rack mount size serial device server. And then the last one, towards my right-hand side below, we have a NPORT 5600 series -DT serial. So the series, sorry. So this one basically it has an 8-port RS-232, 422, or 485, and it's a compact desktop design serial device server that has a LED indicator to easily your maintenance tasks to help the field engineers to monitor the status of the attached serial devices with the 2 Ethernet port for convenient cascading wiring. So let's have a look at the features and benefits. Starting with the surge protection for serial and Ethernet power. So these devices, the general device servers, they have a surge protection for serial Ethernet and power. It is tested and proven compliant with IEC 6100-4-5. This state-of-the-art surge protection, it provides a robust serial to Ethernet solution that can protect electrical devices from a voltage spark and withstand electrically noise environment condition. Also, it has a 3-step web-based configuration. So a user only need to spend an average of 30 seconds to complete the NPORT settings and enable the application and save a great amount of time and effort. It is also have a easy to troubleshoot. This device, it supports SNMP, which can be like used to monitor and all units over the internet or over the Ethernet network. So it also you can configure by Telnet, web browser, or Windows utility using NPORT search utility or device search utility, which you can download from the Moxa website. It also comes with a screw type power connector for secure installation. It has a dual DC power input with power jack and terminal blocks. It also allow you to connect up to 80 TCP hosts. It has a user-friendly LCD panel for easy IP address configuration. You can also download the drivers for Windows and Linux in order for you to map the COM port. Let's have a look at the combo device servers. So with combo device servers, Moxa integrated serial device server solution consolidate a wealthy of the feature into all-in-one design that combine a managed Ethernet switch, remote I/O, and a wireless client into a single device. So this design can satisfy multiple projects requirement in a fraction of the space needed for separate devices, or both simplify device configuration and reduce operational and maintenance costs. So this combo device server, it gives you options for Ethernet, fiber, and I/O communication for your application. So NPORT, starting with the NPORT IA 5000A-I-O series, this device has 1 or 2, as you can see, it has a 1 or 2 port RS-232, 422, and 485 device server with 6 or 12 digital IOs. And then also towards my right-hand side, as you can see, we have the NPORT S8000 series. This 8000 series, it has a 4-port RS-232, 422, and 485 serial device server and built-in managed Ethernet switch. It combines an industrial device server with a full functional managed Ethernet switches with serial ports, so allowing you to easily install, manage, and maintain the product. So combining a device server and a switch in one product, it allows you to save a space in your cabinet and then reduce the overall power consumption and reduced cost, since you will not need to purchase a switch or serial device server separately. And then, as you can check below, we have the NPORT S9450i series. This switch this NPORT serial server, it has a 4-port rugged RS-232, 422, and 485 device server with a managed Ethernet switch. And then, as you can see towards my right-hand side, this one is it's another NPORT S9650i, has 8 or 16-port rugged device server with the managed Ethernet switch also. Let's have a look at the features and benefits of this combo device servers. So the first one, it allows you to connect your serial I/O data to the cloud directly, like through generic MQTT. It also like support MQTT connection with built-in device SDK to Azure or Alibaba Cloud with TLS and certificate in JSON or raw data format. And also it has a micro SD card for configuration, backup, and duplication and event logs to keep your logs. And also it supports Ethernet redundancy with table ring and table chain. And also it can be configured with RSTP, which is the standard redundancy. And then also it supports DNP3 and also a Modbus protocol. Also, again, it supports the IEC 61850-3, the standard for power substations, and also like a compliant with IEE 1613 standard. And also it supports IEC, like as I said, the MMS like protocols and the goose messages and protocols. And also the last one is the security feature, like based on the IEC 62443. This one is for the cybersecurity feature. Now let's have a look at the wireless device server. So our wireless device server are the ideal choice for connecting your serial or Ethernet devices, such as a PLC, meters, and sensors to a wireless network. So in order for you to avoid the hassle of running a network cable to each devices, so the NPORT IAW5000A-I-O, this one is a serial device that has one or two, it is a 1 or 2 port RS-232, 422 or 485, and IEEE 802.11abgn, which is the wireless, it's a wireless device server with 6 or 12 built-in digital IOs. So this device also, it provides you with the maximum flexibility when you need to integrate serial equipment in the field with an Ethernet network or cloud platforms. So the combination of this digital input and output, it makes this device server well suited for a variety of industrial data acquisition application. So the digital input and output on the device can be controlled over TCP or IP using the Modbus TCP protocol and can be configured and secure from the web browser. And then on towards my right hand side, we have the NPORT W2150A and W2250A. So this device are ideal choice for connecting your serial or Ethernet device, such as a PLC, meters, and sensors to a wireless LAN. So your communication software will be able to access the serial device from anywhere over a wireless LAN. So, and also this device, it has a two, for 2150, it has a 1 port, and then for 2250A, it has a two port, which is your serial port. Let's have a look at the features and the benefits. So this device, it links like your serial and Ethernet device to an 802.11abgn networks, which is your Wi-Fi, and also it has a web-based configuration using a built-in Ethernet or WLAN. So in this case, it gives you opportunity whereby you can use infrastructure mode or ad hoc mode. So with infrastructure mode, you will need to have an access point so that these devices, they can communicate to each other. And also with ad hoc mode, they can directly connect it to each other. And then it also like secure your data access with WEP, WPA, and WPA2, which is in terms of security. And then also it is a wireless client function for flexibility integration. And then it allows you for a remote configuration using the protocols HTTPS and SSH And then also it is fast roaming for quick automatic switching between your access points. It also have a dual power input, one screw type for your power jack and another one for terminal block. And then also it gives you opportunity to select any baud rate between 50 to 921.6 kilobytes per second in terms of the speed. And also let's have a look at the industrial device server. So it offers an enhanced search protection and have certifications for hazardous location, including rolling stock and wayside. So in addition, all the devices are designed to ensure reliable and serial to Ethernet connectivity when operating in a harsh environment, such as oil and gas power automation. So starting with the NPORT IA5000A series, it has a 1. It can be 1. It can be 2, or it can be up to 4 serial ports, which depend on you for your industrial automation. And then we have also like the NPORT IA5000 series. And then the difference here, this one, it supports IP30. It supports IP30. And then the other one, the last one, is NPORT 5000A AI-M12 series. This one, it's for the railway, serial device server. So let's have a look at the features and benefits. So it can give you the cascading Ethernet ports, make wiring easy. So it has a 2 Ethernet ports that can be used as a Ethernet switch port. It has like a redundant power input. It also like give you a relay output warning and the email alert as a feature. It supports the industrial graded like certifications. So this it complied with EN 50121-4 and all mandatory sections of EN 50115. So this one for covering like operating temperature, power input voltage, surge ESD, and vibrations, making them suitable for rolling stock and wayside application where higher levels of vibration exist in the operating environment. And then also it supports ADDC for your 2-wire and 4-wire RS485 communication. And then it also have a easy in terms of troubleshooting using the SNMP. Let's have a look at the terminal servers. So with terminal servers are equipped with the specialized functions and security feature needed to establish reliable terminal connection to a network and can connect various, it can like connect various devices such as terminals, modems and data switches, and the mainframe computers, and also like your POS, like a point of sales devices, to make them available to the network host and processes. So starting with the NPORT 6100-6200, it has a 1 or 2 port RS232, 422, and 485 secure terminal server. And then with the NPORT 6400-6600 serial has 4, 8, and 16 or 32, like in terms of the serial ports, and with the secure like terminal server. And then we also have the CN2510 series. So this one, it has a 8 and 16 port RS232, 422, and 485 terminal server. And then also we have the last one, which is CN2600 series. This one, it is also, it has a 8 and 16 serial port supporting all interfaces with a dual LAN port redundancy, like in terms of redundancy. So let's have a look at the features and the benefits of these terminal servers. So starting with it support a non-standard baud rate with a high precision. It also like enhance like a remote configuration with HTTPS and SSH. It also like support like IPv6. It has a like security feature based on the IEC standard. it also supports generic serial command by command mode. And then also like a dual LAN card for independent MAC address and also the IP address. And then also it has like a Ethernet redundancy. So you can put a network module for your redundancy. And then lastly, it supports triple P with a radius authentication and a routing protocol, like a layer two switch and layer 3. Let's have a look at the serial device server's operation mode. So starting with the RealCOM mode, the NPORT comes with equipped with COM driver that works with the Windows system, and also like a TTY driver for your Linux systems. So the driver, like it will establish a transparent connection between the host and a serial device by mapping the IP and the port of the NPORT serial port to a local COM or TTY port on the host of the computer. So the RealCOM mode also like support up to 4 simultaneous connection so that multiple hosts can collect the data from the same serial device at the same time. So with the TCP Client-Server Mode, so this one, the NPORT can actively like establish a TCP connection with the predetermined like a host computer when serial data arrives. So after the data has been transferred, the NPORT can disconnect automatically from the host computer by using a TCP alive check time and inactivity time settings. So data transmission proceeds as follows. So it requests a connection first. The NPORT will configure the TCP client mode, request a connection from the host. And then once the connection is established, then data can be transferred in both directions, from the host to the NPORT and from the NPORT to the host. And in TCP server mode, the NPORT is configured with a unique IP address and port number combination on a TCP or IP network. In this case, the NPORT waits passively to be like contacted by the host computer. After the host computer establish a connection with the serial device, it can then like proceed with the data transmission. And then data transmission will be proceed. So that's it about the TCP client and server mode. Let's have a look at the UDP mode. So UDP compared to like a TCP communication, UDP is faster and more efficient. So in UDP mode, you can unicast or multicast the data from the serial device to one or more host computers. And the serial device can also like receive data from one or more multiple host computers, making this ideal for message display application. And then the last one, we have a pair connection mode. This one, it employs like a 2 NPORTs like in a ring. So it can, like in a chain. It can be used to like remove the 15-meter distance limitation imposed by the RS-232 interface. And one NPORT is connected from it like RS-232, 422 or 485 port to the COM port of the PC or the other type of the computer, such as a handheld, like a personal digital assistant that has like a serial port. And the serial device is connected to the RS-232, 422 or 485. And then, and also like on the other side, the 2 NPORT are then like connected to each other with a crossover cable or cross Ethernet cable, and then both are connected like to the same LAN or in more advanced setup where they will be communicating with each other over a WLAN. So with pair connection mode, it will transparently transfer both data and modem control signal between the 2 NPORTs. Let's have a look at the serial device server live demonstration on the next slide. Okay, here is the system architecture of the RealCOM operation mode using the NPORT 5150A to access the RTU RS-485 device, which is our iLogic RS-1212 for RTU RS-485 device. So I will just show you guys quickly. Okay, so first of all, we need to use a DSU, which is a device search utility. So this software, it allows you to search for the NPORT. So we can search for it. As you can see here, we can find it. And then with it, you can even also maybe, let's say, like on your network, you have like many of them on your network. You can even locate the specific one that you want to work on it. Or if you want to maybe upgrade the firmware, you want to export, yeah, this software is the one that you can utilize. So we can search for it. Once we search for it, now we'll need to log onto it. So you can log onto the device with the username and the Moxa as the password. And then you can change the password there. So like, as I said, we have the wizard, we have like a quick setup that you can use in this case as a part of the settings in 30 seconds. So the first step is to specify your server name. So you can give it a name, and then you can specify your network settings, like your IP address range. And then when you click next, then you specify your operation mode settings. So in this case, we are using RealCOM, but you can, if maybe you are using TCP, you can specify TCP, and then you can specify also like UDP. So in this case, we are using a RealCOM to map the COM port, and then we click next. And then on this, like step number 3, which is the last step, it is where like you specify your serial settings. So with your serial settings, you specify your baud rate, your data bit, and then your stop bit, and then parity and your interface. So in this case, we are using RS485 2-wire, and then you click next. And then once you click next, then you click submit to submit your updates to take the effect. So once you are done there, then you will need to start your Moxa IO search. So this software, it allows you to connect to the device, to your RTU device remotely. So in this case, we are using NPORT this way to give us like a way to connect it to the RTU device. So what we need to do here is to click under like auto search. So there you specify your serial remote IO. So we want to use a serial remote IO, and then you click under like port settings. Oh, sorry, before this, after like we configure the NPORT, we need to open the NPORT Windows Driver Manager. So this is where like we map the COM port, that visual COM port in this case. So you can search for the unit. So after you search it, there you can see, now you can map it. So in this case, we are using like a COM4 as our like a visual COM port. So when you open like a port settings of the Moxa IO search utility, then there you can specify to say I'm using like a COM4 as my visual COM port. And then with the like a serial parameters like the baud rate, 9600, data bit, stop bit, and a parity. And then once you click OK, now when you click start search button, it will like automatically like find your device, which is your RTU, which is R1212. And then you can log onto it. And then you come back to IO configuration. And then you can click your digital output, maybe in this case to say, turn it on. And then there it will be on. Okay. So that's how like I wanted to show you guys using the RealCOM in this case as an operation mode to allow you to access the RTU device. Okay. So let's go back quickly to the presentation. Okay. So let's have a look at the serial server user applications. The first one is a campus attendance or entrance control system. So the colleges and universities are prime examples of the type of the environment well suited for the installation of a serial device server. As a concrete example, let's consider the task of maintaining accurate attendance and facility use record. So in this scenario, each classroom or laboratory and library is outfitted with a card reader that connected to the campus network throughout a serial device server. So this particular application will be configured as a TCP client mode of the operation, allowing the card reader to actively connect to the network host. And then also the magnetic strip student ID card have been in use for many years. So that student are already like gear up to participate. A student entrance into a classroom or facility is recorded automatically when the ID card is inserted into the card reader. So giving the instructor and administrative personnel valuable information concerning class attendance, as well as the rate at which the student use various on-campus facility. So the benefit will be centralized device management and more accurate record keeping. So using a TCP client mode operation. And then also we have a medical equipment data acquisition. So like for today's hospital, medical screening and clinics or pharmacies are full of like electronic monitoring equipment, most of which can be connected to it and then monitored via a COM port of a PC. So another example for this is that it uses limited staff, but offer like a personalized examination to a large number of the people. So in this case, each staff member, whether a physician or nurse or medical or technician, operate at one station. And each station contain either a PC or some type of the testing equipment to record the data. So testing equipment such as a self-contained blood analysis machine is connected to a serial device server, which is then plugged into the facility and Ethernet. So resulting of the patient blood analysis is sent over an Ethernet LAN to centralize a centralized computer where the data is recorded to await expect diagnosis by a qualified physician. And then the last one here is another remote environment monitoring system. For this type of the operation, it consists of a security cameras, sensors that check the temperature and humidity. So a serial device server can be used to provide immediate internet access for these devices, giving the administrator a straightforward and economical solution for setting up an environment monitoring system. So in this case, the serial device server can be configured in a drive mode to provide LAN-to-LAN connectivity. So making it possible to view image from the security cameras and check that from the sensors, and all in real time and from any computer connected to the internet. All right, any question, guys? You can unmute yourself if you have any question or write it on the chat section.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. We had some questions which we answered in the chat already. There was a question about the NPORT 5100 series, which was how many imports could be mapped to Windows 10. So Windows 10, if you do a quick Google search, you'll see that the maximum amount of supported communication ports, serial communication ports supported in Windows 7, 8, and 10 would be 256. So that would be your maximum number of imports mapped to a single Windows 10 or 7 or 8 host. So that's that one over there. And then there was another question. So another question was, if you have 60 imports in the field, would you be able to map them all to Windows 10? The answer is yes, that is possible. And you can also actually map a single import to multiple hosts. So let's say, for example, you have an import 5200 series with 2 serial ports. You can map both serial ports to up to 4 Windows 10 hosts. Yes, over there.
Yes.
Another question was, how often do you need to update the firmware on your import? Typically, these types of devices have been out for quite a long time now, so the firmware updates aren't as frequent as in the beginning, but they do still update the firmware on a yearly basis. I would recommend at least updating your firmware or checking if your firmware is still updated. But if you want to get notifications for firmware or software updates from Moxa, you can go ahead to the product page of the product in question, and you can then register for updates for those devices to get manual updates, software updates, firmware updates, etc. And Moxa would email you those updates automatically when they happen, and you can then go ahead and do your updates and do your maintenance tasks.
Yes.
Right, are there any more questions, guys?
Hi everybody. I think this firmware is we really update firmware for two different reasons. A, it is a security patch.
Yes.
Moxa will do their update for that. So there are some of the new equipment, as Paulus pointed out, complies to the IEC 6244-3, and that standard is still being added to and ratified. And so there are changes that will be done for security, for that security application. There are also vulnerability patches as well, which we either notified of or Moxa picks up. Those also will be patched over the time as well. And of course, there are features. So features are also added to the products. Our customers ask for more and more features. You can see by today's presentation that Moxa has added a lot of features to this product, including, you can speak about all the UDP, and as a small product, this product is really powerful. And we've used it in the strangest applications customers asked us. And because of all these features, Moxa will continue to obviously, from a customer point of view, add features if it's worth their while. And of course, the last update is also with bugs. You know, with any software, you create a software, a code, it works quite well, it goes to a customer, and for that customer, it doesn't seem to work as well as it should. And there are obviously then bug fixes that also come up. And it's all documented in Moxa's updates. We recommend that you update if it's an issue with your existing installation. So in other words, if it's not performing as you would like, then to go and find the latest update the firmware and see if it then fixes any of the issues. Okay, right? That's one of our always our first go-to solution. That's the reason when and why we update the firmware.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Paulus. I enjoyed that presentation. Even I learned a bit today about the Moxa imports.
Thank you, Mr.
Great. Paulus, I'm just going to quickly share my screen,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Okay.
I just want to show you guys how easy it is to just follow those updates. So if you can see my screen, I'm on the Moxa website. I opened up the product page for the NPORT 5100A series.
Yes.
And if you want to receive updates for firmwares or software that you use, like NPORT Windows Driver Manager, for example, you could just go to this follow updates button, and you just sign in with your Moxa membership. This is a free membership. If you don't have one, just sign up, and then you could register for the updates for this specific device to receive those firmware updates and software updates.
Yes.
All right. Unless you can take over the share again.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go.
All right. Okay. So please stay tuned with us on the next webinar for our iLogic 2500 series, the Smart Ethernet Remote I/O webinar. It will be presented by my colleague, Johanna Isaman. And then lastly, remember guys, we are still here for you. please feel free to take a screenshot, or you can even contact us because we are back now at the office. And lastly, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this webinar. Be safe and stay safe. Thank you.
You need to end the session, guys.